Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from Nightcarve Designs, and today on the show, I have Amy Sheriden. She is that voice behind the Starbond account who's always there cheering you on and adding some fun comments to your day. She also has her own page, Drop Dead Quirky, where she makes some really cool needlepoint crafts and a bunch more. So I was super excited to sit down and have a conversation with Amy. It gets a little PG-13 in the middle, so I hope you're ready for it and excited for it. And I just want to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, Sabertooth Power Carving. They have amazing power carving tools, and you can save 10% with Night Carver 10 in all caps. They just came out with a bunch of new shapes in the Whisper Grit. So if you are enjoying that Whisper Grit now, you have some more options. So go check out their website, and I hope you enjoy this episode. All right. Thank you again for listening, and don't forget to check out the links in my bio for my affiliates. I get a little kickback, and you can get yourself some cool Carhartt gear and a bunch more. Okay, enjoy the show.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Look at her. She looks so good. I mean, you do too, obviously. But look at Tiff. She looks amazing.
She just looked right past me.
I
Just
know.
like that. Phew. This Tiff's old news. That Tiff, she's what's hot. I get it.
I'm just glad that both double down with Tiff's. Like, not gonna say anything wildly yeah, I am. We're gonna say inappropriate things, whatever.
So, like, that's the whole point of this podcast. I try to keep it like a nighttime vibe. That's why I like to record at night, so it feels like we're like on a talk show. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's 5 o'clock here, so you know.
I'm just inches away from bed. It's 8 o'clock over here, so.
Listen, I had people who were offering to come home with me or be on the phone with me to make sure I didn't say anything inappropriate. I was like, do we know each other? Have we met? Because come on. This is Mitch.
Mitch or Midge?
Mitch.
Mitch?
Mitchell. Yeah.
Mitchell. Oh, so formal.
Right?
My dog's name is Jane Austen.
Oh my God, I love that.
If you can't tell, I really love Pride and Prejudice. It's so good. I'm
That's
a
fantastic.
unique blend of like super sappy romance to slasher killers, you know?
I'm like Barbie world plus horror. Like, it's like a Hello Kitty mortuary in my apartment. I love it.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on. Did you get to get out of work a little early for this?
I did.
Ooh, a bonus.
I was like, yes, missing traffic a little bit. Not really.
Yeah,
though.
right. I mean, at least you get out of work early. That's always a nice thing.
I'm
And
saying, like, if I
it's
can come
work
home to one
related,
pajamas-
so why not?
Exactly. Of course, I would also, leave work early to go to the DMV, but whatever.
Well, that's not something we choose to do.
That's true.
Oh man. Well, I know you were nervous and don't want to say anything stupid, but don't worry.
I'm resigned that I'm going to say stupid things, so we're just gonna have to go with that.
Perfect. I legit was like playing around with my background so much that I didn't give you a fair stalking, and I felt like you deserve it. But what I love about your page is just like there's such a mixture of like rash sayings, and then there's like this little cutesy thing right next to it.
No, I like that's that is kind of my vibe. It's just chaos. It's all over the place.
I like it. You show who you are and you have fun with what you make. Like,
yeah, I do. Yeah. I like ridiculous stuff because I'm kind of I'm a deeply unserious person. So I think there should be more deeply unserious art in the world.
no, I agree. And you're unapologetic about it. You're like, boom, take that.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Thank you.
Very free and liberating.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, I always struggle with that balance because like, when you work for a brand and it's so hard though, like at least you're not like showing your face at Starbond.
No, for real.
So like for me, they know it's me. So it's like, there's no hiding. So I'm
You're like, who's posting these inappropriate things on Sabertooth? Come on.
Yeah, I'm always just like, should I post that?
You're hovering over the post button. You're like, I don't know. Yeah.
We're working with one guy right now, and I kind of love that he's posting the most crude thing about our tools. Every time he posts, he goes, he's like little asterisk, dot, 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 not sex toys. Like every time he posts, because of our nice,
There are shapes. I really hope his coupon code is not a sex toy 10 or something.
That would be hilarious. I don't know if Jody would swing for that one. We'll have to ask. But
that's the one you just kind of sneak in on your own.
He is someone that we sponsor with tools. So I'm like, whoop.
What does he do on the weekends? We'd like to know.
He builds guitars. I mean, actually, I think you commented on his post today, Odie's guitars.
Oh my God, I love his stuff.
Yes.
I love his stuff. He's so talented. He's like, yeah, insane.
Mm-hmm. And his editing, and like you were saying, I think I saw your comment was like the vibe on it and stuff. That's the funny part when you're tagged on something, you see all the comments come through, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be hanging out with her later. What's she saying over there? What's she saying over there?
I mean, we follow like 3,000 people on Instagram, and like I'm commenting on literally everyone's page, whether they tag Starbond or not. I'm just in there being a clown.
Yeah, but I know you saw the snippet from our interview where we called that out. Like, it stood out that I'm like, she does it if you're not even using Starbond. And honestly, it makes you want to use Starbond because of that. No, it's true. It's like, oh, wow, they're paying attention to people watching what we're making because they're enjoying it. Like, that's a different feeling.
Yeah. I mean, like, being an artist, and getting access to the Starbond Instagram was like Christmas Day for me, getting to see all of these things. Like, people are making tables and dressers and like there's no way I could not comment on some of this because it's so good. It's just so every day I see projects that are so good they hurt my feelings because I'm like, God, I could never make anything like that. That's so amazing, and the first thing I saw from you was the Mario flower, and I like watching you carve that, and I was just like, God damn, God, that hurts my feelings a little, because it was just so good that you made this out of wood. Like, it was just, it's amazing. Like, on a daily basis, I am just floored. And I have that gene of, I can maybe do that, but fortunately my apartment is too small for the tools, thank gosh. Otherwise this would be like Festool from floor to ceiling, and I would have no idea what I was doing.
I know it's so hard to make when you don't have the space for it. Yeah. I guess it is controlling you from your purchasing things.
Thank gosh, though, because I would have so much invested in tools by now. I would be like lathe, planer. I would be buying things. I don't know what that is. I probably need it though.
Well, the cool part is you might not be buying those tools to make the art from people that you enjoy, but you're supporting us. Like, I see my piece behind you. Like, that's freaking cool to see the things that you're grabbing from the community too. So like, it's really just awesome to see the support in all kinds of different ways.
I just like, the community is so awesome. They're so they've been welcoming to me, and I'm just in there, making dumb comments or asking the most basic questions because I have no idea about any of this, but everyone is so friendly and so open and so willing to help, which nobody's gatekeeping. It's not like, I can't tell you what tool I used on that, or I can't tell you, how I did that. It's like, oh, let me help you figure that out. Let me tell you how to do it. And that's like, yeah, that's amazing. That's so that floored me, just that it really is a community, which is insane.
And that's when you took over Starbond, when you really started noticing that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I never thought I wanted to pursue content creation as a full-time job until I got absorbed into this community. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, that is what I want. Like, I always wanted to be a full-time artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a full-time artist, but that comes with the content creation. I've always liked making videos, so it works well, but it's just funny. I can see you in a couple of years. You're like at some maker studio, you found a way and you're doing all kinds of crazy shit.
It's just been such a cool experience too. And I don't think Starbond really really knew what to expect when they hired me. I applied to be an admin assistant, and the CEO messaged me on Indeed and said, "Why didn't you apply to be marketing? You know, you have a creative background." And I was like, I never thought about it, and so he had the vision. So we got a shout out for Joe for having that vision.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And, they kind of then set me free on Instagram, which there were missteps, I admit. Like one of the first days I saw someone did some kind of a workshop on making stools, and they showed a tiny little stool that they made, like 3 inches tall. And I said, "Would you call that a stool sample?" Because that's just my personality. And after I hit enter, I was like, this is the work Instagram. Gosh. So yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
But that's just my personality, and that's just, sorry.
Well, that's what stands out though. You're showing your personality through it. So you're being a person. I try to be me as well with Sabretooth, but you
can't be
sometimes,
as you.
yeah, I have to pull it back. But you come in my comments and we'll play people.
Absolutely. But it's,
Yeah.
like you see Rockler commenting on Adam Butler and like, "You're so great." And he's like, "You're so great too." Like, that's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Just comment, having the conversation with himself is wonderful.
People asked me that before. They're like, "Do you enjoy talking to yourself?" I was like, "No, but I do it sometimes."
I'm just working the algorithm, okay? Like, just let me do this.
Oh, well, it sucks because I cross promote on so many different ways that like I'll be working as Workbench Con and me, and then I'll be talking of like over here, and I'm just like, oh.
You're just, "What do you want to do for dinner tonight?" "I don't know. I think we should have stew, maybe."
My head's a little loose sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, same.
So did you already start working there when he pitched you that? Or is that like right when you like got hired, he called you and said, "Wait, I think you have a better fit here"?
That was before I got hired.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. I just thought, I thought it was super weird that a CEO of a company was reaching out to me to ask me why I didn't apply for a different job. And it was kind of like, that's not typical. So I kind of like that energy of, just kind of chaotic, and that's my whole vibe. So I I was like, "Sure, let's go for the marketing thing, whatever. I don't know what that is, but sure, yeah, let's do that." But it, and then it sort of became more about me spending time on Instagram, which is just like awesome. I mean, I get to look at all this amazing stuff, and I get to, interact with these super fun, completely insane people, and it's pretty great.
There are some amazing makers that are just so fun to watch and
Right?
hysterical. Like,
No, absolutely.
people's voiceovers and stuff. Like, I get angry at myself because a lot of times I'm just scrolling without the sound up, and I'm like, "Oh, you're missing out. Somebody could have like the most ridiculous thing." And I'm like, "Put the volume up."
And you put the volume up, and it's the same song.
Yes,
The
then you're like,
trending
"Never
song.
mind."
Yeah, nope, never mind. We'll put it back to mute. Yeah.
That's why I'm always on mute. Exactly. I don't want to hear the music that's getting played.
It's that one song that's on every reel for like a month and a half, and you're just like, "Come on, please."
I don't want to hum it, but we know what song we're talking about right
Yes,
now.
we do. And if I have like PTSD when I hear that song now, I'm like, "Gosh, stop."
Mm-hmm. Then the people who are posting it to be saying like, "Please stop posting this song," you're like, "Oh,
Stop it. We see what you're doing.
we know."
Stop
Yeah, exactly.
We all see exactly through what you're doing. Please stop.
That's so funny. So Starbond itself. So how long have you been there for?
Since April.
Since April.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, like the impact that you've made in that short time. It's crazy. They must be seeing it in sales. I would hope that it transcends.
I think it's starting to move the needle a little bit. So it's, I mean, we're always doing, different stuff to try and like, let's experiment with this. Let's experiment. Joe is very big on, if you have an idea, let's try it out. Let's see how it works. Throw it up the wall, see if it works. So it was kind of like, at first I was a little bit shy on leaving comments, and then I was just like, whatever. But it's like, commenting on creative people's stuff, like creative people think of things differently. And so I kind of thought it would be more, a little more open to my, golden retriever energy of, oh my God, I love that so much. You're so amazing. You're wonderful. I thought it would be a little bit more okay than,
I love that you've described your energy of the golden retriever. It makes perfect sense though. Like I've never really interacted with one, but you see them in people's videos and they're the happiest things in the world. So
exactly. And that's not actually my personality, but it's my personality at work. And, like I am genuinely excited to see all these projects. And I just think it's so cool. And, my dad was a woodworker, so I still have, jewelry boxes that he made me and salt and pepper shaker that he made me. So it's cool to see all that stuff and actually to kind of get an idea of really how much work he was putting into those things. So
yeah,
it's cool to see that and to see, to be able to see, when people show the full, like your Tiff thing, just like from planks of wood to that, like that goddess back there, like amazing.
I put her up there just for you, just so you know. My husband brought her down. I'm like, can you please help me? Let's get this set up.
How much does she weigh?
I don't know, but it should probably break my scale for how much she weighs. She's heavy.
I was gonna ask if she could co-host, but then I was like, I don't want to ask that.
I was legit gonna just stop my video and pause it for a sec and then move her, because I know you had made that comment to like bring her to maker camp and just like move her every couple of minutes to freak people out. I'm like, that would be so funny.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But now that I know she's, the size of a small child, like
it'd be pretty funny driving to maker camp with her in the passenger seat though.
Carpool lane all the way.
Somebody got pulled over for that recently over here, which was really funny. The whole classic mannequin and the car situation.
I have my own mannequin here.
I saw a golden mannequin.
Yep. There's a lot of things.
Or is that just for fun to look at?
We hang out sometimes. All right. I get lonely. I'm not gonna, apologize for that.
Dash 10 Woodworks.
I love her.
She has the skeleton in the back of her office or like wood shop. And I messaged her earlier today and I was like, so I love that little skeleton hanging out. She goes, oh my God, that skeleton is the best listener ever. Like we were having like a back and forth about it. I was like, oh, so good to find one of those. It's just, they're so rare.
Right? Not talking about themselves, just like, just listening without judgment. It's nice.
It is. We all need that from time to time. So I'm glad she has that now. I didn't know her until recently. She's going to start working with Sabretooth. So it's fun. She's going to start doing some power carving. So I'm excited for it.
I just discovered her very recently, and she's fantastic. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's so open. And yeah, I've been enjoying chatting with her. So it's cool. But yeah, same thing. I really just started talking to her in the last couple of months.
We're like girl power.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm laughing because everybody keeps tagging Starbond and Sabretooth together. And I'm just like, oh, look at us. Look at us.
Twinsies.
I'm like such nerds. But it's funny. When I had Adam Barnett on, we were talking about like how it's so nice to make friends with other people who are running accounts. Yeah. Because there's people behind these accounts and we all see the same things all day, or maybe we're missing something, and it's cool to connect with each other and have a little group therapy every once in a while.
Right. It is. I mean, there's not a ton of brands in the comments. It's like, you guys and Rockler and Odie's Oil and Black Diamond Pigments.
Total Boat's pretty good too. I gotta say.
Yeah, I was gonna say Total Boat too, but other than that, it's there's not a lot of tool brands that are in there
talking to people. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just us like hyping people up, and which I think is like that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It really does build brand loyalty because people like are excited for that.
One time I posted something about Converse on my account and Converse liked it. Like I was riding that high for a week.
I might get some
Like
free
it was just
shoes.
cool. Yeah,
They might get me
exactly.
some shoes. I'd be
Right?
thinking
Like,
the same thing. When do I DM them?
yeah, like how soon is it too soon to DM? Like, do I slide in there now or do I wait? Like it, I just think it's because how many big brands or even, small to mid-sized brands can you tag that will actually look at your stuff?
Oh, Surf Prep, gotta give them some love. They're really great
Yeah,
at that. I'm like,
that's cool.
there's some more, but yeah, there's not a ton of them. And the ones that are out there doing it though, they're doing a great job, so it's exciting.
I think it matters to the community that, when you do tag Starbond in something, whether it's, you showing off a charcuterie board you made or showing, anything, I am in those comments. I am looking at that and I am, and now, people tag me even more in like Halloween stuff because I'm a spooky bitch. And I love that. Like I'm, forwarding this stuff to my friends at home, like, oh my gosh, check this out, check this out. Like I just love it's awesome that the community has been so cool with me. And I'm not a woodworker. I don't know. I own one hammer and like two pink screwdrivers, and that's it. But so I don't know. And so yeah, sometimes I ask dumb questions, but I genuinely want to know. Like I want to know, why did you use that kind of wood? Or, is
Yeah.
that kind of wood difficult to work with? Like I'm really curious.
I have the same kind of feelings when it comes to like watching people power carve. I don't chainsaw carve. I would love to get into it, but like that's a whole nother expense and that's more noise. So I'm like, ugh.
It looks so badass though.
It does.
Like
But I'm
amazing.
watching what they're doing and I'm applying it, but I'm just using our tools, you know what I mean? And I'm learning from that. Just like watching people asking those dumb questions as you say they are, but I bet you they're not. They're inquisitive. They're getting people talking, which is great. Um, but like those things help you for the one day when you will apply that because you say you're not doing it yet, but there's
I
a
know.
time and a place for everything.
I've got a little pile of scrap wood that I've collected. So I don't, but artists, we have, scraps of 27 different hobbies that we're eventually going to learn. We just don't know when.
What's the first thing that you remember learning or trying when you were younger?
Probably painting. Yeah. Like painting. My mom did a lot of crafts, so I kind of grew up in craft stores and thrift stores. So that's my whole thing. Like I am super comfortable there. And my mom did a lot with like Mod Podge and it was the 70s, 80s. So it was like the what's the cross stitch with the plastic stuff? Needlepoint.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She
used to
did that.
love doing that kind of stuff and like just
Exactly. Yeah.
cross stitching. It's always a good time.
Yeah. But there's never been a time when I see a new craft that I haven't been like, maybe I could like rug making. I want a rug gun so bad. Do I have space? Do I
You
want
could do
rug?
rug making. That's an achievable one. You could do that in an apartment.
I could. Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously though, everybody has been doing this. First time I saw it was at Maker Camp, like with the gun to start making those cool rugs.
It looks
And
so cool
now
though.
I'm seeing so many people making them and they just keep getting cooler. I'm like, my goodness, like that. I do want to do that so bad. I'm like, no, you can't. No, you're
It looks
done.
so satisfying though with the big frame and just, I mean, it's a rug gun.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty American, isn't it? Like, give me a
America.
gun, let me shoot some rugs up. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
And then I
it
get to
just
go
looks
in there and shave it and shape it. Like, how fun.
great. That looks super fun. I don't even like shave my own legs, but maybe I'd want to on a rug. Maybe I'd be okay with it on a rug. My whole
You
goal is
put
to
the
get
effort in on the rug, just
exactly.
not on the legs.
Like I'm trying to get enough tattoos so that you can't tell whether or not I've shaved my legs.
See,
That's
you
my
just
plan.
hacked it. There you go.
I have a plan.
I love it. I love that you're just like, what else could I get? What else could I get? I
But
tell
that's
you,
that's that's the creative thing, isn't it?
hmm
Like yes, I'm good at this, but oh my gosh, there's something new. Like whether it's pottery, whether it's stained glass, it's like I kind of want to try that and see if I can do it.
I've been watching this lady. I just started following her. She is using her laser to make like stained glass, like cool Super Mario Brothers backgrounds,
Oh
all
my
out of
God.
stained glass. Like, look, it's not real. But it looks amazing. Now she's leaning into the Star Wars stuff. I'm like, I told her, I DM'd her. I'm like, just so you know, I'm taking this idea and running it on my own kind of creative way. But I'm like, I am totally going to be using this idea because I really want to get into stained glass, but I don't need to be having glass and lead in the house and all that shit. So to
Yeah.
do it another way would be really cool. So I'm like, now that I know, like, you could do that with different acrylics, I'm like,
That's so cool. But the fact that you've seen that and you're like, I can adapt that and make it my own. Like that is
Mhm.
such a just the neurodivergent brain ADHD creative person who's just like, okay, how can I fit this into my life?
Yeah.
How can I Tetris this into a tiny portion of my life? Let me do it. Let me try.
Literally, it's like, well, there you go. There's a product I probably would enjoy making right there. Because that's the hard part. Like, I have a laser, but I'm like, what would actually give me joy? Like,
Exactly.
I don't want to be making the same thing over and over again that I hate. That's like a fear.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I wonder if people who end up doing the same, doing the same like river charcuterie boards, like, do they get tired of them? Do they want to branch out? Like I completely understand that when people are throwing money at you, you're gonna take it.
Oh, yeah, you take it. You have
I
to.
mean, especially in this economy, come on.
Hmm.
Um, but I just think that like it's, you know, I would hate to be stuck in one specific niche and feel like I couldn't do anything else out of that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to try all the niches.
There's so many people out there who had woodworking in their name and no longer have it because that's what's happened. Like, as they have grown into this field, they've realized I'm not just woodworking. I also 3D print, or I also sculpt, like there's just so many different things that people are now, like you said, it just like there's just so many things you want to do.
Right. And I love that. And I get to talk to all these makers like Sam with Coleman Design is trying to talk me into a 3D printer. And I'm like, God, that sounds really cool. Damn, I could definitely have room for that. And like Sunshine from Cape Cod Land Shark, she quit her job as an architect to be an artist full time. And she makes these great sculptures of like fish stuff and marine life. And just the way that the makers are all like, hey, I did this, you definitely could, you know what I mean? And they're just so
Yeah.
open, so encouraging, and so it's going to be so expensive, it might not.
It's
But
right near me. It's like 2 hours from me. So I'm like, that's cool.
yeah, she makes like these amazing huge fish and octopus and mermaids, and so I love being able to see all these makers in different parts even of the world. I mean, OD
Hmm.
Guitars is what, Israel, and there's a lot of woodworkers in the UK and just all over the US, and then there's people that are 10 miles away from me. It's crazy.
Yeah, they are. They're spread out. And that's the
Yeah.
cool thing because you guys must ship international then, obviously,
Yes.
if you have, yeah. And that's how Sabretooth is too. So I get to see all of this international carving. Like, I'm talking to people in, like you said, Israel one day, or Australia. We have a pretty big following there and stuff, like the UK. Like, it's so cool to just be like, hit translate when needed when you're talking to people and be able to like have a conversation in a different language. So that's pretty neat.
Right, like just to be able to, and even to be able to see on their captions even when they're not necessarily interacting with you.
Hmm.
There's a couple guitar makers in France, and like I will watch that stuff all day long. Like luthiers, absolutely, let me watch everything from you. And so to be able to see what they're saying in the captions, and the translation is actually, it looks pretty accurate to me. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Right. It makes you be able to at least understand
Yeah,
relatively what they're trying to say.
like somewhere around the neighborhood, so that's
Hmm.
cool.
No, I love that. I think it's a really cool experience. And it's definitely, I've been doing it. I don't even know how long anymore. Um, I think it was April of last year. I started working for them, and it's just been really cool to just continue to see it grow. And I've been targeting the scroll saw artists and laser artists really hard lately, but it's been working, and it's really cool to like see that evolve. So like with you, like with Starbond, talking to all those people in the different fields that might not be using Starbond yet, you're just encouraging them like to like try this though, because they see the name, they're getting excited because they see a brand talking to them. It really does work.
Yeah, like I mean, and like when I'm at least 50% of the time when I'm in the comments, I'm not really thinking of like as a brand. I'm thinking of as an artist, like, holy shit, you did such a great job on that. That's so amazing. Like, and yeah, you know, when it turns out to be people who use our glue, because I've had a lot where I'll comment, it's so many, oh, I forgot to tag you. I used you in this. I was like, oh, cool. I like it even more now, you know, like,
Yeah.
like
It's a reminder to tag that, you know, if you want to get shared, like
yeah.
that's what I keep telling. If you guys want to be featured, just tag us so that we can help spread you. Because a lot of people like that we follow, 134 followers right now, you know? So if we can help you boost and get you seen, I love doing that too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh,
when it's a smaller account who may not be getting the exposure that maybe they deserve just
oh,
because
hell yes. Yeah.
they're crazy talented. And like with Starbond, we don't have a workshop in-house. We don't have, you know, burly dudes and power tools. So we count on the community for content. And, you know, like if you tag us in a halfway decent reel, we are going to repost that because, you know, just to share with the community and to get it out there.
Yeah, exactly. It helps everybody else. Like you're giving them a platform to spread, you know, what they're doing and get noticed. And then it helps the brand get content. And usually we like to give stuff to people too that are doing the best content. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you're doing a great job carving or showing off the products, like, yeah, we're going to want to work with you. So like, that's what I did to get noticed. I'm like, tag. Yeah.
Well, and it's so like, you know, when people do reach out, when the influencers reach out to get a refill on glue, you know, try and offer them like, hey, have you thought about using inlay products, or have you, you know, considered like Nicole at Lady Woodgoods,
Lady Woodgoods, which I think is such a fun name.
It and her work is amazing, just like the saw stuff. She was asking for something today, and I was like, have you considered maybe using, you know, do you want to try out the mother of pearl? Do you want to, you know, try out the crushed gemstones? She was like, yeah, I actually think I could do that, you know, like, and I want to get it into their hands just to see what they could do with it, you know? Like,
yeah, no, exactly.
Just to see. I just love seeing creative people just do their shit. Like, just go for it.
100%. Yeah. If I can help them by getting them a few tools that are going to give them the power they need to do something, it's so nice.
Oh, absolutely.
So speaking of like the mother of pearls and stuff like that, you know, I mentioned I'm going to be adding it to her dress. So right under her breastises, there's a small portion right there above the knife that I'm going to put it on. It's going to just be shiny in that one area because she's supposed to have lace. Nice. And I was like, that kind of symbolize like a lacy look. We'll see. So I'm going to try the whole crush it and attach it technique on there. That's cool. My plan for that. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to see if that works. But yeah, I didn't think about it I did think about it a little bit when carving something with boobs, and not like little boobs, but like big boobs, how uncomfortable I would be, because all I want to do is make boob jokes. And this is something that Sabretooth is paying me to make. It's not something I'm just making on my own. So I'm like, all I want to do is just be like,
oh God. Going in Tokyo.
Yeah. I'm totally gonna have to do those videos for later. Or just to keep posting in my stories on like close friends list.
You're gonna have an account of late night carver, not just night carver, late night carver.
I actually have been talking about doing that, like having a personality page and then a woodworking page, because I'm starting to feel like I need to unleash the beast, you know?
Because sometimes it just feels good to just be like, yo, this is me. Enjoy it.
People get that in person. It's hard for me to not be me in person. Like when
Yeah.
we're carving and I've got a full mask on, I'm still gonna be cracking jokes at you. That's for
Same.
sure. Yeah.
But it's just so, like, when you feel comfortable enough to just be yourself, whether it's, you know, a clown or a jackass or whatever, just to make, I mean, I will never miss an opportunity for a that's what she said joke, and I make no apologies about that. Work meeting, no problem. Let me go ahead and yeah. And
You're in the corner like
that's what she said.
they're like, okay, Amy, we heard it.
They're
We
like,
know.
can you just mute your microphone, please? Thanks.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, if Starbond ever wants me to glue some wood together with some 5-minute epoxy at their headquarters and carve it right there, you just let a girl know. I'll hop on over on a plane. Let's go.
Absolutely.
What can we create with Starbond today?
Just making sculptures out of glue, whatever. We could do it.
We could figure this out. Some glue and some wood. It'll work.
I'm telling you, my first week just looking at everything on Instagram, I'm just like everybody else in the office. I'm like, have you guys seen this? Don't you want to make that? And half the people are like, what are you talking about, weirdo? And I'm just like, no, I want to make a chair now. Like stuff I've never even considered. Like, no, a chair would be awesome. Damn. What? And then I come home and sit on my, you know, folding chairs and my thrift store and IKEA furniture.
I'm telling you, your future is going to look so different in 10 years. All
Like
your handmade furniture.
I'm cutting vegetables on my like $5 plastic cutting board. And then I'm, you know, going to work and like, ooh, I don't know why you use spalted oak on that. I'm not sure about that. Come on. Like, girl, come on. Be real.
Oh, that's fantastic. Look what this job is turning you into.
No, absolutely. I'm going to be like a wood snob now.
Yeah.
Oh, you use elm for that? Okay.
Or you start learning things that you never thought you were going to learn. Like I'll spiel out something and I'll have answers to people on how to do something. I've never done it before. I have no intentions of doing it, but I keep watching everybody else making those things. So I know. I'm like, oh, is that an exothermic reaction that's happening? I think that's what's happening to you. You know, like it's just ridiculous. So,
like, did you know that you could temper Damascus steel in instant coffee? See?
That's an instant fact.
I'm dropping facts like that at parties and people are like, why do you know that? Listen.
Somebody just has the like instant coffee on the counter and you're like, lesson time.
Here's the only thing you should be using instant coffee for. You should not be drinking it. Please don't drink it. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take up knife making. And then, step one, get a kiln. You're going to need to learn how to temper steel. And hold on, I'll send you some accounts. You can say it's fine. Don't worry about
it. That is a classic thing though. Like you talking to somebody and they're talking about like learning something new and you're like, hold on, I have some recommendations for you.
How about a rug gun? Scroll saw? Okay, let's see.
Yeah. We've got a good, okay. These 3 people are awesome. She teaches a lot in her stories. This one has a great YouTube library.
For real. It's oh, you want to get into glass blowing? Hold on, let me find that Instagram for you.
Yeah. It's kind of a cool thing, right? It's a cool little resource.
Right? Like I'm like a Wikipedia of crafts. Like just ask me and I will tell you how to start, and I may not do it, but I know how.
Have you made anything that you were inspired from other people for making that you could do it in your apartment?
I found a stool on the side of the road that I'm going to repair.
You're getting handy right there.
You know,
I'm going to use those pink screwdrivers.
Exactly. A little Starbond on it, hold it together. No, but that's it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of vintage furniture around my neighborhood. So I found a little nightstand this weekend and I spray painted it pink and put it in my bedroom because Barbie summer. I did an absolute garbage job. I'm like, oh, let me put something over this so no one can see that I didn't sand it properly. Now I'm all concerned about that. I'm like, oh, I really should have filled this hole in. And, let me just paint it.
Sanding, sanding, sanding.
I know everybody loves sanding so much. That's everyone's favorite thing.
I I spent a whole day sanding her yesterday. Was it? Yeah, yesterday. Wow. And I just like quit. I was like, you know what? It's sanded enough. I'm done. Like, it could be sanded so much more, but I'm just like, if it shows, I'll just put a little bit more wood putty and smooth her out because no more.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's supposed to be rustic looking, so that's what I'm leaning to.
There's a point in every project where you're just like, I can't put one more brush stroke or one more sequin or one more rhinestone on this because I just can't. Like, it's fine.
And then there's the other part where you just can't stop yourself, and then you ruin your entire piece because you overdid it and you didn't listen to that voice that was telling you to stop.
And it's 2 a.m. and you have a Cheeto hanging out of your mouth and you haven't slept and you're just like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what happened.
I need to think about my life choices right now.
Netflix kept putting on another movie for me. I didn't have to stop.
Just more episodes of 30 Rock, just back to back to back. I didn't know what to do.
Oh, that's a good one to get caught up in.
Oh my God, I love it.
I love anything that's just like slapstick, just quick, and then like a lot of camera panning and stuff. They do a great job on that show. No, the music too, like it just keeps moving. Everything just keeps moving.
And the callbacks to 3 episodes ago with a joke. I am Liz Lemon, considering how socially inept I am, and I'm just looking for a Jack Donaghy to help me out. Like, that is all I want.
That's fantastic. And only those who know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if you know, you know. If you don't, sorry. I tell everyone I'm a cross between Liz Lemon and Linda Belcher, and I will not be explaining it further.
Like, I don't know Linda Belcher, but okay, if you're not going to be explaining it further, I get it.
She's from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, I don't watch animated things.
Okay, but Bob's Burgers is awesome. You should really watch it.
My husband hates me for that. I'm always just like, you're watching a cartoon. It's the voices. I can't handle hearing like, oh man, that's awful.
And then finding out it's like a 50-year-old woman who's doing the voice of like a 4-year-old boy. You're like, what is going on in the world?
Exactly.
You just don't let your kids watch SpongeBob, do you?
Oh, I don't. They don't even know it exists. No clue. Don't believe me. They watch plenty of other horrible things.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, YouTube, YouTube, Minecraft, all that crap.
Oh my gosh. See, I think my son was too old for Minecraft, thank gosh, because I've seen kids just completely disappear into it.
They do. They wake up in the morning and they're like, when can we start? When can we start? Is it time?
And your kids are what, 8, 7?
They're 7. Yeah.
7. But you have 2, which is that's a lot. That's a lot of kids at once.
It's a lot. And they're, being the same age, they fight constantly. And there's always a battle of just like, who's the coolest, who's the smartest, who's the bravest.
I mean, obviously you're the coolest, so I don't even know why they're trying on that one. Like,
they don't know. I just don't know. They don't get it. I'll take the compliment. I accept your compliment with grace and gratitude. I'm just gonna start doing that.
Kiss into therapy.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But I notice you do that. Like, your immediate reaction is to, no, you're not right. Okay, yes, thank you. Yes,
I have to get better at it because it's so hard. I talked about it on Workbench about like imposter syndrome. I've been making since I was a child. You compliment me, I'm like, oh.
But it's true. Like, you compliment me on something I've done, and no, let me show you 10 things that are wrong with this.
Yeah, I'll like zoom in here.
Exactly. Look at this. This part is garbage. I don't even know why anyone let me do that. Like, I should honestly light it on fire right now. Like, it's terrible. People are like, I just said I liked it. No, you're wrong. You're wrong to like it.
I believe we had this discussion yesterday when you were complimenting her, and I was like, no, but her boobs are uneven and it's destroying me because it was. I'm like, I don't want to film it. I don't want to show anybody it until I level those out. Like,
I think you were just looking for an excuse to spend all day on her boobs, but
I spent a long time there and I wasn't upset.
I respect that. That's a day well spent right there.
Right? Just looking down. I don't know how far I want to go. I just want to be like looking down on them titties. Just looking down.
You're like milk bags, jugs, bazingas. I would be coming up with every single different name. Boobies.
So we'll go back on a serious note here now, Amy. We're bringing it back in. We're reeling it in. We're taking it for a second. And that's why
We're social media professionals here.
Yep, we can get through this. I noticed recently that like Starbond started carrying all of these products. Like, what brought that big change on? Did they just decide they wanted to start? I don't know if you even know if it's happened before you even got there. Like that's
No, I mean, it started before I got there, but it's basically just Starbond's been in business since 1988.
okay.
Just making the glues and even before the internet, really. But they want to. They're honestly super focused on the customer, and so they want to do more for the customers. Like I mean, all the inlay products are all pretty new, because we first started out, it was wood turners were our bread and butter.
Okay.
And because they use it to fill the voids, and also they use the inlay products for that. So they wanted to get into inlay products, and hi Mitchie. And they wanted to just fill more needs for the customer.
Yeah.
They want,
sense.
like we have the little mica powders and the matte pigments, and it's all just it's not, we're not trying to take away business from every other company. We're not trying to, but they're also really picky about what they put out, the products that they put out. They want, occasionally we do put things out and ask people to test them for us, because we want to make sure that they're good, that they're, that we're not just getting something, off AliExpress and selling it and okay, bye. Okay, go. But it's just that they don't want to just settle with having the best super glue. They want to do other stuff. They want to do a flexible epoxy. They want to get more into epoxies and pigments, while also maintaining the quality of the glue and making sure that it's it's good shit. I was surprised when I started how people are so behind the glue. They love it. The only time I've ever used super glue before was when you buy the tiny little thing at the grocery store and it's dried out the next time you need it. So finding out that it's like a 30-month guarantee for the clear glues, I was like, there's no way glue lasts that long. Come on. And it does. And I was Joe, the CEO, he's so passionate about it, and he is constantly researching whether it's new products, whether it's new ways to use our products. It's just he's super passionate about it, and he just he's excited to be part of the Starbond community, and he just wants to make Starbond better for the community. It's pretty great.
Oh, that's awesome. Is he a maker, or is he just somebody who admires it and sees how it fits?
He low key is a maker, but he doesn't so he knows enough that he can test the glues and stuff, but he doesn't have a big workshop. He doesn't do that, but he's so stoked about the glues, and he's so excited about them. When I had my interview with him, he was just telling me all these things that you can use super glue for, and he's a big geek about dinosaurs, which I am too. And to know that that paleontologists use Starbond when they're getting the bones out of the ground, what? That's amazing.
That's cool.
Basically funding Jurassic Park here, and we do have some paleontologists who will tag us and stuff, and I am fangirling in those DMs all day long. Oh my God, please tell me more about this dig. I need more pictures. I want to know where you are. I want to come hang out with you. Can you please adopt me? That's golden retriever energy right there. But Joe and his dad, who started the company, they're both big dinosaur geeks. So they love that stuff. So I'm like, ooh, look at this picture that I got today from this. They're, it's a very passionate company about what they do, which is, it's unique for me.
No, that's really cool. No, yeah, like work for a company that is so passionate about what they make. That's really fun, first of
Yeah.
all. Because if there's that passion, there's energy and there's excitement for your, in your workplace instead of just like,
I mean, we all have those days when we stayed out a
oh
little
yeah.
too late.
Yeah,
Like when I made the executive decision last night to go out instead of going home for after work. Genius. So yeah, I was dragging a little bit in the office today, but had some caffeine. I'm good. But it's, I don't hate going to work. Like we've all had those jobs where you're just like, okay. If I don't drive off this bridge, I guess I got to go to work. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Too bad there's not traffic to delay me today.
If one of these semis just starts to come over, I'm not slowing down. It's fine. I've resigned myself to my fate.
Oh, but yes, we have. No, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is a family atmosphere, which, I mean, all companies. I worked at Amazon. They called it a family atmosphere. I mean, a lot of families, yeah, dysfunctional families. But where somebody's always bringing snacks, or somebody's talking about their visiting relatives or something. It's it's a good environment. It's a pleasant environment. It's an environment that doesn't suck.
Fantastic. What is the star, like the significance of the star in Starbond? Do you know?
I have no idea.
This is an important question that
I
now will go
know.
unanswered.
I know I think it's one of the mysteries of the world. Like, the Sphinx and stuff. The star and Starbond, that's exactly what it is.
That's so funny. I asked Sabretooth like why it was named Sabretooth, and he was just like, I'm a cat guy. I love cats. So I heard saber tooth burr. He goes, it just worked. It just worked. And I was like, that's so funny. Like that's how he loves cats. So that's how he came up with the name. Like that's so funny.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was talking to the marketing manager actually yesterday about Sabretooth because I saw one of your older podcasts with Arcadian Mushroom.
Oh yes.
His carving, insane.
He's amazing. He is amazing.
Unbelievable. And like when you can see the grain of wood, but it's a tomato plant. Like you would legit try and take one of the tomato plants off there. But you were saying something about Sabretooth had a monthly coupon that was eligible that you could only use it for one day. And
yes.
Yeah. And so I was talking to the marketing manager. I said, Sabretooth, I was watching this podcast and he said, Sabretooth, like the prehistoric cat. Yes. Yes. It's a paleontology podcast that I was watching. And that's how I got an idea for a coupon code.
Ooh, good plug. I haven't done that one in a while. Ready? At Sabretooth, if you sign up for a newsletter, you're going to get a one-time, one-day, 24-hour coupon for 25% off in your mail once a month. And we rarely send really emails. That's the nice part. We don't send a lot of emails. So they're not going to get hit with 30 of them a month.
Those, yeah, when you're signing up and you're like, is this the company I want to delete emails from for the rest of my life?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's so bad. I've been so absorbed with the carving of this piece that I didn't even advertise to sign up for the newsletter, and it came out today and I was like, oops.
Whoopsie.
Oops. Sorry, guys.
But I mean, if she's not an advertisement for Sabretooth, I don't know what is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, she's like the poster child of Sabretooth. Like,
I really am pondering bringing her maker camp, but I'm not going to leave her out at night. Like she has to get in a car with me.
If you're cold, they're cold.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to wake up and then she's like got so moist she cracked overnight or something. I'd be so sad. I'm like, imagine me bringing that into my hotel room every night so she doesn't get cracked. Hold on, I got to get my doll.
They're like, here comes that lady with her weird hunk of wood again.
You just hear me go like, boom. Ah. Oh, it's so heavy. Ugh.
Like you're going to roll it kind of down.
I'm glad that the glue I used is holding her so well together. And I'm so happy and proud of myself that I planed each board because it's a good glue up. My husband carried her down by her hair just like this the whole time, not from the base, but from her hair. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh.
For like around our house, through the front door, down the stairs, into my room. And I'm just like, just holding her hair. It's like, oh my God, my girl.
If that head fell off, that would have been grounds for divorce.
Yeah, I know. What did you do?
You monster.
I will never get that tight fit again.
But it's such a big project. But the fact that you had, 7 backup plans is hilarious to me. But honestly, I had
There was
no
the
doubt.
easy way out.
Of
I had like
course.
the easy way. I had like, yeah, like you said, 7, but there was like one. I'm like, I can do that pretty easy.
You're like, here, I drew this.
I think it's because I've been making signs for so long. I'm like, I could do a relief carving. I could use a CNC. I could cut it in little pieces and put it together as like a sculpted piece that way. But I'm like, but I've never done this.
But like, I had no doubt that you were gonna knock it out of the park, and you did. Like,
I appreciate it. Honestly, like you and my friend Mary Lou and my husband were just pumping me up this whole time because I was like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? Why? Because it was so much work.
it's such a big undertaking, like, I mean, in theory, yeah, it's a doll. I can carve a doll, no problem. But
Yeah.
then when it's 300 pieces of wood glued together and just, I mean, I can understand how daunting that would seem. And I could tell when you first started carving her face, you were like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Literally right when I started, I was like, because it just like, I realized it set in how long it was going to take. I was like, oh God, this is going to be a while. Like, shit. And then I didn't have the right size clamps. I didn't even think about it. So I had like reached out to Bessie and I'm like, help. And then they were awesome. They responded very quickly, but it took 2 weeks to get the clamps. So I had to like, what do I do in 2 weeks? I can't just leave this not being carved. So I'm like, you just got to commit and you got to carve the face. And then I'm like, you just got to commit and you got to carve the sides of the hair, but leave enough to glue together. So that way you can assemble her. I'm like,
but the way also that you were explaining it when you were doing it, like, I'm sitting here wondering, like, why isn't she carving more of the hair? And then you're like, the reason I'm not covering more of the hair, I'm like, okay, sorry, geez. But like, the fact that you explained like your thought process for that, like, that's so, I love that. Like the fact that you're just sharing, like, here's everything I'm doing. And, I know you work for Sabretooth, but also you love their products,
Yes.
That's super obvious and you use them. And so the fact that you are so enthusiastic about it and you're able to do such a high level of work with it is just like, I mean, it speaks volumes.
Thank
And
you.
obviously makes me want to get every single burr of theirs and
just destroy your apartment with dust.
I mean, I have, hardwood floors and I'm like, let me just carve a little bit here.
Just sweep it up. It's fine.
But just, the way you explain it, I think is just so awesome. And, there's so many people in the community who will show you like, here's every step of the process, which is so amazing to see. And also, I think it helps people recognize just how much you're putting into it and how much, instead of the, why do you charge so much,
Yeah.
for everything. So like when people say, why are those charcuterie boards so expensive? Or, look, here's the 7-day process it took to make it and, to plane it and to do the resin and to do the, so I think it's amazing that people are so open with their processes.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of, in the art community, there's a lot of people who won't post anything in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't want to post when it's halfway there. And I get that. Like, I don't want to post mine in the middle just because I think they look like garbage at that point. So I don't want to, I don't want to put that out. Like, when I work on art, it's like I'm halfway through, I'm telling myself that I'm not an artist. I should just take up bird watching, or I should start stamp collecting or something. And then, just let me just keep going. Let me trust the process. I mean, that's art, is trust the process. Just
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that it gets what I see in my head is what I can make happen on fabric or on canvas, just to make that happen. And then when it does, you're like, okay, I don't suck. Got it. Okay, cool.
What do you prefer to do? Or is it like split when it comes to like canvas or using?
I paint and I do embroidery. Painting is faster, but I think I'm better at embroidery. So obviously I try and paint more because I want to get better at it.
Yep.
Like I feel like I've done so much embroidery. I've had stuff in magazines, I've had it in, galleries and stuff, and I've had it in art shows.
This is
Yeah.
Cool. Toot that horn.
Like there was a few years ago, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I went like lowercase viral with some stitching, and it was on Tumblr, so that tells you how long ago it was. And people started buying it, and so it was in, like, there was some French fashion magazine that it was in, and I can't read a word of the magazine, but I have it.
Hell yeah, you do.
And there were, articles about it in like the Village Voice, and Spin magazine mentioned it in an article, and it was like, that was so cool to me. That was such validation to me. But then I did so many of those pieces, it was like, okay, now I want to do something else, like yes, it was
oh, it's embarrassing. Tell me.
no, sort of. I started I wanted to embroider things I hadn't seen before, because like most people think of embroidery as like, it's like your mom's tablecloth or cutesy stuff. So I wanted to embroider tweets, because tweets are so ephemeral. It was like 140 characters, it's here and then it's gone. So I thought it was just completely unbelievably ridiculous to spend 8 hours stitching a tweet and framing it. And at the time, this was a different time. The best person on Twitter was Kanye West, because he was fun crazy. He wasn't fascist crazy.
Okay.
So he was tweeting things like, I hate when I wake up on an airplane and I find a water bottle next to me, like now I got to be responsible for this water bottle. And stuff like that was so goofy that I just started stitching the tweets, and people liked them.
That's funny.
It was, and it gave me an opportunity to connect with people all over the world. And sometimes it was the same tweet, sometimes it was a different one, and they would all share a story of like what it meant to them. And it was, and there were some people who were buying it because they saw it on the internet, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, money's money. But then there were people who wanted to connect, and who had a story to share, which is so awesome. And like I love to make art for people. And I'm happy when anyone wants, when anyone likes my art, but if they want it in their house, that's crazy. So
agreed.
Having an opportunity to like get my art into people's houses, amazing. Like, I
love that.
I mean, to be paid for it too. Like, yeah. I'm not above, I will take art to people's houses and sneak it in there just to be like, I will absolutely do that. But to have people actually, want it, like, not just me like forcing them to take it, for people to want it in their house for a reason, or to have it, and like I just think that's amazing.
No, it is absolutely amazing. It is a great feeling, and it's just like you get those repeat buyers too, and it just hits so hard. It's just like they really like it, like they got it once and they want it again. Like, what?
Yeah, like I had someone buy one of the tweets and then it got stolen, so yes, art theft. And then they wanted, they liked it so much that they wanted to replace it, and I was like, okay, that's kind of awesome. Like,
first of all, somebody liked your shit so much to steal it is awesome.
Right? I mean, it's basically the Thomas Crown affair. So but like I did take pride in a little that it was stolen like that. But I should. Like, yeah. But like when people, if people like something of mine, if I make some goofy art and people like it enough that they want to put it in their home, like, what? Are you kidding me? Awesome.
I do love you have a wide variety of horror themed ones. I did notice those.
I do. because I just like I like to do the horror themed embroidery, because I think that horror and embroidery aren't really, that's not usually,
It's making it cutesy.
yeah, there's not usually a lot of overlap in that Venn diagram. But then I also like to make it cute, like give it, give it a texture, give it a different look, and just make it more fun.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It makes me want to play around with it and like teach my kids how to do that, because I grew up making those things, like you get your circle ring out and you're like, let's go. And then you put it down and visit it again in a week. Like it's just
Exactly.
fun.
And it is a very portable art form.
Yes.
When my son was in high school, he was in basketball. So I was taking him to practices, and, so it was embarrassing for him that his mom pulls out, doing old lady crafts that are actually inappropriate words or dirty pictures. But it's just it's a portable art that you can do, that you can work on, that you can, and I like it because it's sort of like painting with string. Like you can make anything you want. Like if you've never seen a particular thing in art, you can make it.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
and
which
just
is amazing.
be able to play with texture and 3-dimensional. Like you could build it up taller and taller if you
Exactly.
wanted to. Like there's like limitless possibilities with that. So
Yeah,
like
I did an old Venom one where he had like a long tongue that was 3D.
Yes. Okay. I haven't seen that one. I'll just find that one.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you. And I did one of
Please
Gene
do.
Simmons also.
You're like, who else has a big tongue? Ghostface next?
And I did Dolly Parton, because, she's Dolly. But I like to be able to do that stuff and just try new stuff. And I think that's just an artist thing, is just like let me get an idea at 2 a.m. and then I'm always, I have a little notepad in my phone that I will wake up at 2 a.m. and just jot something down. It doesn't always make sense. Sometimes it's like goth cactus, and I'm like, the fuck was that supposed to be? Where was that going? Where was I going with that?
Please do a series of goth cactuses, please. Cacti.
They all shop at Hot Topic.
Oh my God. And now you got to have little catchphrases for them too.
Like, I'm not laughing at you or you're laughing at me because I'm different. I'm laughing at you because you're the same.
Exactly. To that boring cactus with no jacket on, no leather jacket.
It's gonna have piercings in it and stuff.
Oh my God, just the piercings would be hilarious.
Tattoos, of course, too.
See, we're ending the podcast with a whole new series for you. You're inspired now. We're gonna go have some fun.
I am. God, I'm gonna start carving that shit. Mitchie, come on.
Mitchell wanted to join us for the last few moments. Wanted to make sure people knew that they were there.
He needs everyone to know that he's around and that he exists. It's very important to him. Validation.
I get it. Well, thank you for coming on. I super appreciate it. And let Starbond know we only talked briefly about inappropriate stuff and I cut it out. So we're fine. So people, I'm sorry that you missed it. It got a little crazy in the middle and we had to, rein it back in for us. But just know it was very funny. And it all kind of started with talking about anatomy. That about summarizes it, right?
But I appreciate you. I'm super glad to have met you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a new friend.
Seriously, I love it. I love having those quick relationships that happen instantly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I tell my husband, I'm like, I'm just falling in love with this Amy at Starbond. She's hilarious and she is quite entertaining with the comments. I'm like, I just get joy from it. Like seriously. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep killing it. And awesome. I hope they love and respect everything that you're doing over there because it's making a huge difference. I can feel it. You just, I can see it and I can feel it. And I see people tagging both of our companies and the biggest, boldest type. Like they're just like Starbond, Sabretooth, go.
Right. I love that. I was like, look at that. Me and my friend making a difference.
Exactly. Making people want to tag us.
Look at that. Social media twinsies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for a very fun. I hope people really enjoyed listening to this. It has been. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed getting to know Amy. She is so amazing. Like I said in the beginning of the show, she brings so much to this maker community, and I'm so grateful for that. So I'm glad she came on here, and I'm glad that Starbond was smart enough to reach out to her and say, hey, you belong in this position. So I wanted to talk a bit about Maker Camp. It was an amazing event full of just so many incredible people. We had so many people come carve with us. It was, I think, over 100 a day. And of course, sadly, we only had a half a day on Saturday because the rain was insane. So if you didn't go and you haven't seen on social media yet, rain was pouring from the wee hours in the morning to almost, I think, around 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. And it was just crazy. Flooding happened everywhere. A lot of us had to get shut down because it was too dangerous to operate with electricity. They had to go in and throw hay on the floor so that you could actually walk around. Our tent was just basically, it looked like a barn by the end of Maker Camp because there was just so much compacted on the ground. But even though we had all those things happen on Saturday, it was still one of the most amazing times in my life. I had so much fun hanging out with everybody. I got to see people that I haven't seen since either like Workbench Con or a special trip, and it was so cool. So I encourage you, if you have never gone to Maker Camp or Workbench Con, to go for it. It is a place that you're going to solidify those friendships with people that you've been talking to for a long time. You're going to meet people that you have been just like drooling about. Like I met Jen Bauer, who I think is incredible. And all I could do was flirt with her the entire weekend whenever I had the chance. It was great. And you only get those kind of opportunities at Maker Camp. Now you guys know it was nice flirting, harmless flirting, but lots of it. Because she's amazing and uber talented. And I got to hang out with her. I got to hang out with my Pineys. I got to hang out with Ricky. I got to hang out with Shar. I got to hang out with Alma. I got to hang out with so many cool people. So make that jump if you're thinking about it, if you can afford it now. I mean, obviously don't strap yourself, but if you can get yourself there, I recommend going to these things because they're huge for this maker community and they'll impact your future. And I gotta say, the nightlife was so fun. So if I saw you there and you were carving, thank you for coming. And if you're pondering coming to Workbench Con, I can save you $50 if you use the code NIGHTCARVER. And that is all I have about that. One more thing before I let you all go. As always, if you want to help support the show, go check out my affiliate links in my bio. There's a ton of great places that you can shop, and I get a little kickback, so it helps me continue to work as a freelancer, self-employed, wonderful, fun, crazy career. I appreciate your support, and thank you for listening. Have a great day, and I hope to see you at Maker Camp or another maker event soon.